All right, we are live.
Okay, so I'm going to call the IDA meeting to order. We'll do roll call. Peg Zugaby.
Here.
Raj Amar.
Here.
Tim Wright.
Yes.
Okay. Just going over the agenda. There was an inducement resolution for company Connectivity Systems. They've asked to postpone till November because it's a Jewish holiday and they did not want to conduct business today. So we're pushing that to November at their request. Nothing's there. Reauthorizing resolution for point 72. We're also going to skip that one because, as it turns out, in talking with council, this is a project we had authorized a while back. They'd hit some delays and other things. Our authorizing resolution, we don't require any action from the board. The authorizing resolution is still valid, so there's no action on that. That leads us to Joanna. Okay, so maybe if you don't mind, and thank you guys for coming and welcome again. Just a very brief recap from the last month's presentation. They had talked about their request, how they would be using the funds. Some of the broad talked about the programs, the impact. We've given them a couple to-dos. I have the copies of it here for anybody who wants to see, but I'm going to give you just a very quick highlight. That one of the things we asked was the number of companies that they work with, and there, again, I'm being very general. There's pages of companies that they work with, and it's the depth and breadth of Rockland County, and they have right now they have 143 folks, that they work with, consumers that are in these jobs. I guess is current as this. We'd asked for a couple of clarifications, and as far as timeframes and things like that, they've provided that. So they've answered our questions. I did talk to Tim about it. I think I've talked to each of the board members about it, just to update everybody. So with that said, I guess I'll put it to the board if anyone has any questions or, any thoughts about it, or anybody wants to give any comment to everything.
My only comment is this. I would like, as we do with our applicants to the IDA, every year we ask for a compliance. They come back and they report. I think that is really critical on something like this. The simple reason, and you can work it out with either Steve or our attorneys, in the sense that if and when we get audited by Albany, that's what they look at more than anything. And we've done our due diligence with all of our applicants. So I'm gonna assume this is the same as one of our applicants. So I think we should put together a just real brief policy on how you're gonna report to us, and then do an annual report. This agreement, I think, is gonna be for 3 years. Just tell us how you spent the money in the past year, and that'll allow us to spend it for the next year. Simple as that.
And just chiming in a little bit, like what I'm presuming, and I know I talked to Lino and Rudy, I don't know if you and I talked to Lino, our counsel who had been doing this. What would happen if the board chose to want to go forward on that, and, leaving that as an open for the moment? There will actually be an agreement that details the process, the reporting procedures, all that compliance information that we would need under a mutually agreeable time frame, detail the payout process so they can anticipate when they'd be receiving the funds. We'll know, and the fact things you're asking about will be part of that agreement. And we'll put in, I will defer to council. I would recommend that it be put into a format that maybe resolution isn't the right way of putting it, but something that then the board could take a formal action, maybe at next month's meeting, to formally adopt and agree to that agreement that we would sign, have a resolution authorizing me to sign it. We would sign it, we give it to them, they would sign it, and then off we go.
So you will be handling everything, or Heidi, who's going to be handling Giovanni, to put everything together?
Oh, I think it would be the attorneys.
Yeah, it would. Well, it would be me working with.
Yeah.
Now, could I see Heidi being probably involved as far as the direct liaison with them to coordinate that kind of making sure that information flow? And I think also because it's a partnership, I think we'd want to be involved and hear how things are going, or and sometimes even the best laid plans, maybe there's a little adjustment. We'll have that flexibility.
Well, but like Tim said, we want to make sure that we're protecting ourselves as well as protecting them, right? Because we don't want something that comes back to haunt us because we have to support them the next 2 years also.
Right. And we don't want the state looking at us and saying, what are you doing?
Exactly.
So, nor do you.
We don't either.
Right, you don't either. I think we're all agreed on that, but I think that's why the work here would be if the board decides, authorizes me to go forward with this, that's what we would do, is
So,
go through those details.
I guess the question is the board comfortable with having our attorneys meet with Giovanni's attorneys and moving forward, putting together some kind of document that we can approve at the next meeting?
If you don't mind, let me characterize what I would suggest, and I know I talked to you about this, let me just clarify a little further, I'm sorry to jump in. For this meeting, what I would suggest, if the board is inclined, that someone make a motion for a verbal resolution saying that the intent is to, go forward with this partnership and authorize the executive director to have his counsels work with Giovanni to prepare an agreement. It's basically the same thing, but that's more what the resolution.
Before we go that far, I just want to make sure, like, in the reporting, like, we're not looking for, not that it's not important, but we're not looking for the benefit to the consumer of did they do better in,
No,
did they make
not
progress
that.
in their own, in their goals?
That's
I think we're looking more for, like, how did it benefit? How did we justify using taxpayer funds to increase the economic
For
development?
workforce development.
For workforce development.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure, because like, I know how I would report back, this person made, look at how much progress they made in this period of time. That's how I would, report back, but I'm looking at it as an educator for the consumer.
But I think
And-
historically, they've been successful at what they've been doing for all these years. So I don't see,
So I think they
Yeah.
are, but I think what we're looking for, how did it benefit the workforce of the county? How is it in economic development? We're
Sure.
looking.
New jobs.
Data on
save
how many
jobs.
people we've developed jobs for.
Yeah, I just want to make sure
how
when
that
we're talking
impacted the
about data,
businesses
we're
in
talking
Rockland.
about the same data.
There's two, go ahead.
We were able to hire 8 trainers
Yes.
who did these hours and train these specific people in this trade.
Right.
Done.
That's it, right, the subjective element of it is
Yes.
is
Okay,
good,
I just
but
wanted to
not
make sure we were talking about
And we
this.
can work out the
Clarification,
metrics and
thank you.
have it be part of the
Yeah,
agreement.
Like I
Yeah,
said,
that's
we don't have to go, that'll be the work following,
Yes.
going forward, like for us to.
Okay, all right.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Again, whatever you
No,
want.
you're right.
Okay, Tim's makes motion, seconds, okay. I'll call the roll call. Peg,
Yes.
Raj,
Yes.
Tim.
Yes.
So you've been approved.
In our world, you've been induced.
Right, you've been induced. There won't be a public hearing, there won't be any authorizing, no, but like I said, we'll get in touch with you, we'll sit down, we'll start working through these mechanics. I don't think it's brain surgery, I think it's just putting the substance to the working mechanics of what we'll do.
Okay, well, we're very appreciative of the partnership and we think that we're gonna be able to help quite a number of people continue on their path to employment and help the community as well. So thank you very much.
And we really appreciate you guys doing such a fantastic job. So
Thank
God
you.
bless you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
Keep it all-
guys so
Thank you
much.
again.
It's
Right, right,
Yeah, and keep it all a little secret, okay?
which, since it's a live feed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which nobody watches, I guess it's not gonna.
One watcher, just me.
Right, Heidi is the audience right now. Like I said, we're trying, and the reason is, it's not that we're doing anything, we're just trying to keep it under the radar for the.
Only
reasons
because
we want.
they're
So it's not a
limited.
rodeo.
It's
I will not
limited.
be doing my job on this project.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's not
Well,
like
thank you very much.
big
Okay,
newsletter.
thank you. Thank you guys. Nice to
Very
see you
much.
all.
Take care.
We're gonna do good things with it.
Good luck.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, that's your-
Yes.
All right.
Take
Take care. Nice to see you all. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Nice to meet you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right, if you talk to Rebecca, of course, but, yeah, I'll give you a holler, yeah, well, like I said, it'll be, yeah, good, all right, take care, guys. My daughter is in China right now, with CNN, I guess China's sending over 2 more pandas, and
Yeah.
that's a big deal up there, I didn't
I
appreciate
saw
it.
them in a FedEx truck. I thought it was like an OJ thing. You see these cop cars with the
Yeah.
2 FedEx trucks. I said, wow, I wonder what happened.
Yeah, what's
Then
going
the
on?
pandas are inside. I was like,
So yeah, they sent her over. She's been there for 2 weeks. Now she's in Beijing, doing something else, but they sent her over. She's a field producer, so she's
Oh,
the head of the
neat.
team. So they sent her over. They sent her into the wilds of wherever these pandas are from, and it's
Oh, they don't
preserved.
come like from the zoo?
Great.
Well, they find their way there, but they went to where they are wild, and then they went to
Wow,
this
how neat is
preserve where they're in a
that?
protected environment. But it's a big thing, like this city, there's pandas everywhere. It's like I never realized that.
In
Like,
Beijing?
it's in Chengdu, it's a big city, she said.
Shenzhen?
Yeah, maybe that's it. But it's a big deal. And there was there was students, there were multiple groups of students dressed up in panda outfits and doing this big show. It's like a big thing. I guess that, and the fact, and to them, it's very symbolic of them sending us 2 more
Yes,
pandas.
it is.
That I know is a
I
great-
remember that.
It's like a
in the
real olive
70s,
branch.
It was a big deal.
Are they Chinese looking?
What's that?
Are they Chinese looking?
We are live.
We're live.
Are they-
You're
I
all
remember
giving
when
me
my
hard
daughter went to
palpitations, all of you.
Africa,
Yeah.
and she
Not
saw
you.
all the
You're-
animals, and she said it was like all the animals you'd see in the zoo.
Yeah.
And you're driving down the road, and they're all just walking around, and
I guess we don't appreciate the fact that,
We-
they are different pandas than what,
yeah, that they live in the wild, like she said, like even looking at some of the animals that like were roadkill and those animals we look at in the zoo, She said it was she just couldn't wrap her head around it, It's just a difference, whole different area.
Okay,
So, well, that was good.
so low-key borough labor reports, did we get the reports?
We have not gotten the reports yet.
I
And
thought
this
it was just me, I couldn't find them.
Yeah. No, we haven't gotten them yet, and as we now have, I think they're monitoring like 10 projects, and so it's not, low-key Grill has to gather information now from all of these. So we may be, we'll have to
Okay.
figure out, like, it may be unrealistic to be getting it by mid-month. And so
Right,
we'll
I
have
think-
to,
You may have to, because we had, not surprisingly, it's just we're adding projects that are now labor projects, so.
so it
Right.
may be, we might be looking at them at board meetings a month behind, but we'll obviously update you if anything
If-
happens.
right.
that needs-
They're very good at updating us if somebody goes off the rails.
Right.
We don't have any old business. The treasurer's report for September, again, routine, normal monthly costs. Anybody has any comments or thoughts? And I guess if someone wanted to, when you're ready, if someone wants to make a motion to adopt the September financial report.
I'll move it.
Okay, okay, I guess we can just, is all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The Paris 5-year budget, if everyone recalls, this is something the state requires us to do. And what it is a 1-year look back, a look at our current year and our projection going forward. Now, for us, it's an official document, but for us, I've always had my problem with this because we can't project our
Yeah.
revenues. We could have $1 million bill. Now, this year with JP Morgan, we're gonna get a fee of over $1 million. Next year, I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe we could make $200,000. But they ask us to project out. It's mostly for IDAs, unlike us, other IDAs that own property, operate industrial parks, have tenants, are landlord, that there's income, and there's predictable
wanna track
revenues,
it.
there's predictable costs. So this is kind of something we have to do it, but it's an odd thing. And if there was ever, in all the years I've been doing this for 20 years, I've never had the state ever say, well, you projected X and you only did Y, or so. With that all said, I do need you to have a resolution. I just need somebody to make a motion to adopt the 5-year budget.
Like a lower amount, if you don't know.
We always lowball, we always put
Yeah,
a low.
because at this point, we don't know what it is.
So I always put a low conservative number, but, it's not worth taking a chance almost for the fun of it. You want to put in 10 million and see if anybody said anything, but I'm not going to.
pension.
But anyway, with that said, if someone wanted to make a motion to adopt the 5-year budget,
Okay.
Raj, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 5 years. Okay, with that, I'll read the minutes. We called to order at 11:01. Raj, Tim, Peg was absent or attendance. We tabled the inducement resolution for connectivity systems. We determined that there was no need for an authorizing resolution for point 72. Giovanni is in hand to answer any questions regarding their presentation regarding request to partner with the IDA on workforce development. The board discussed various questions in the process. Motion was made by Tim at the conclusion of that discussion. A motion by Tim Riley, seconded by Raj Amar, directing the executive director and IDA councils to work with that they were in favor of forming the partnership, and asked us to work with Giovanni in forming a more specific partnership agreement between the two parties that would outline the funding and reporting procedures. There was no old business, low-key pro labor reports that was tabled until the report would rise probably in November. The board reviewed September financials, adopted that. The board reviewed 5-year budget for parish reporting, approved that, and that's it.
Motion to close.
Okay, now we'll do the even easier. Okay, make a motion, let's see, a call to order for REAC. Peg Zugaby.
Here.
Raj Amar. Tim Riley. There's no action items, there's no new business, there's no old business. Treasurer's report. The board, please, if you could review the September 24 report, and I will be back if it's anything but
No.
2 items.
Yeah.
We'll take a look at it. Yeah. We check. Actually, there's only one. That was paying our bookkeepers. And if you're okay with that, someone makes a motion to react or to adopt that.
I'll move.
Tim Riley, do I have a second?
Also.
Okay. Financial, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And the 5-year budget report is kind of the same thing as I said at the last meeting. It's a same thing. Just a brief review, if someone wants to make a motion to approve that. Okay, Peg, do I have a second?
Second.
Riley, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Motion to close.
motion to close.
Uh,
All right. Can we turn that on? So, are we off?